I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that
the greatest of all time.
After his stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez, Terence "Bud" Crawford wasted no time making a statement, sending Floyd Mayweather a direct message that struck at the heart of legacy. Crawford wasn't talking about money or win-loss records. He was talking about the mark a fighter leaves on the sport itself. For Mayweather, whose reputation has always been as carefully guarded as his undefeated record, that message hit a nerve. He fired back in classic Floyd fashion, downplaying Crawford's win, reminding everyone of his own dominance, and making it clear why he still considers himself the greatest to ever step into the ring. But this back and forth isn't only about two fighters trading words. It's about something much bigger, who truly defines the future of boxing's history books. Crawford currently holds the pound-for-pound crown, but Mayweather brings an untouchable resume, 50-0, blockbuster pay-per-view numbers, and global fame that few can match. Now, those legacies are clashing head-on, and fans are left asking, whose name will stand tallest when all is said and done? Let's break it down.
Out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually, he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
To really understand why Crawford made that bold statement, you have to go back to Las Vegas. On September 13th, he stepped into the ring against Canelo Alvarez, one of the most feared fighters of his generation. On paper, Crawford wasn't supposed to win. He was coming up from 2 weight classes below, facing a bigger, stronger opponent, and nearly every analyst believed the size difference would be too much to overcome. But what unfolded shocked the boxing world. Crawford didn't just survive, he controlled the fight. He used his speed, precision, and defense to neutralize Canelo's power, while landing the sharper, heavier shots that told the judges who was truly in command. By the end of the night, history had been made. Crawford became the first fighter ever to remain undefeated while conquering 3 different weight divisions, cementing his place as a once-in-a-generation talent.
You said something about what fighters go through, and you've seen enough guys that the game is taken from. It's a hard game to get through. Can you get a better ending than tonight? I mean, really?
Not at all. Not at all. This is the top of the top. Canelo is, an all-time great. Like I said before, he's the last one.
He was the A side of the age.
There's no more Canelos.
So,
there's no more. So when you look around, you say, I'm the Canelo. I'm the face of boxing now, and I'm the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, like I always been. Just gotta wait and see.
This wasn't just another victory, it was a turning point. The kind of result that forces people to rethink the conversation around boxing itself. Crawford's win didn't simply add another number to his record, it rewrote expectations, shifted narratives, and demanded that his name be spoken in the same breath as the all-time greats. Moments like this are rare in sports. They don't just crown a winner, they reshape legacies. And in that single night, Crawford didn't just beat Canelo, he altered the way history will remember both men.
Canelo couldn't really keep up with him, he was too fast, his feet, footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah?
I feel like Bud damn near basically won every round, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
The conversation among fans quickly moved beyond weight classes. People weren't just asking if Crawford was the best fighter right now, they were daring to compare him directly to Floyd Mayweather. And that's where the tension really began. For years, Mayweather's entire brand has been built on one core promise, that nobody could outthink, outfight, or outlast him. Money Mayweather wasn't just a nickname, it was a business plan, a reputation, and a legacy rolled into one. But Crawford's dominance has been so undeniable, so sharp, that even Floyd's carefully protected aura is starting to feel pressure. The question isn't only whether Bud is great, it's whether his greatness is beginning to chip away at the foundation Mayweather spent decades building.
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
That's why Crawford came out swinging, not just with his fists, but with his words. When he said he would raise Floyd's memory asterisk, he wasn't talking about bank accounts or scorecards. He was challenging the very story Mayweather has told about himself for decades. Crawford's point wasn't that he wanted a fight with Floyd inside the ropes. His statement was far more calculated. He was saying that by making history now, he was rewriting the narrative Floyd spent his entire career controlling. And control has always been Mayweather's greatest weapon. He decided when to finally face Manny Pacquiao. He waited until the timing was right to take on Oscar de la Hoya. He fought Canelo when Canelo was still too young to truly challenge him. Every move was carefully chosen, every opponent faced on his terms. Because of that strategy, fans never had reason to question Floyd's perfection. His record stayed spotless, his authority untouched. But Crawford's rise threatens to disrupt that long-standing certainty, and that's exactly why the tension feels so personal.
You see all these fighters, they doing the shoulder roll, you see? I mean, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Well, he should, with almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should. I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights was world title fights.
But Crawford isn't built like everyone else. For Bud, greatness isn't about timing, it's about stepping up whenever the challenge is in front of him. He's never been the type to wait for an opponent to age out or fade away. Look at Errol Spence Jr. Crawford faced him at his absolute peak and dismantled him in a way few thought possible. There was no waiting for decline, no excuses, just pure dominance in the biggest fight of Spence's career. And then there's Canelo Alvarez. For years, Canelo was untouchable at super middleweight, considered the king of that division. Yet Crawford met him head-on, moved up in weight, and handed him a loss that shook the sport. That's the difference. While others carefully plot their paths, Crawford has consistently taken risks at the very moment when his opponents were most dangerous, and won.
How are you feeling to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been this trainer before, so...
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Do what he at this point now in his career where he can do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
At the heart of Crawford's message was something simple, almost stripped down: I'm the man willing to take risks you never took. That was the essence. He wasn't boasting about money, numbers, or even titles. He was drawing a clear line between his path and Mayweather's. Crawford is saying that when history judges, people won't just look at perfect records or box office sales. They'll remember who stepped into the ring against the toughest opponents at their strongest, and who proved they could conquer the impossible. In his mind, that's the legacy that will last longer than any pay-per-view buy or undefeated streak. And for fans, that argument hits hard, because risk defines greatness in a way safety never can.
Why were you so emotional afterward? Is it that you just realized everything that you achieved The moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, you know, the history, you know, behind the sport is just everything that, you know, I trained for my whole life. It all was, you know, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You know, you have a lot of people that, you know, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford is not marketable, you know, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But any one of Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold out crowd, you know, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, you know, marketable I'm not, you know, and that kind of was hurting my career because, you know, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Or they said he's not, you know, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me. Right. I wasn't, you know, I'm not a guy that, you know, wear jewelry for no reason. You know, just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. You know, they go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. You know, it's just crazy though to see me headline, you know, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. And American.
For Crawford, legacy isn't defined by simply avoiding defeat. It's measured by the names you've faced, the timing of those battles, and the way you handled them. From that perspective, he believes he has every right to challenge Mayweather's claim to the throne. But anyone who knows Floyd knows he wasn't going to let that pass quietly. In true Mayweather fashion, his response was swift and dismissive. He brushed off Crawford's victory, arguing that Canelo wasn't the unbeatable force people made him out to be. He reminded everyone that Crawford's resume, while impressive, still doesn't stack up against his own. Floyd's case is clear: 50 wins, 0 losses, the highest grossing paydays in boxing history, and a career where no opponent ever solved the puzzle. To him, Crawford isn't rewriting history, he's just trying to ride on the back of Mayweather's accomplishments. And that's the heart of the dispute: is Crawford creating a new chapter in boxing's legacy, or is he simply chasing a shadow that can't be caught?
Because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference to people.